You are looking live at St. Vincent College, Latrobe, Pennsylvania, and Steelers Training Camp 2022, day number 7, underway out here at St. Vincent. Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Prisuta. Welcome to Training Camp Live, presented by FedEx. I am joined today by Craig Wolfely, who is very excited about our promotional item of the day. I guess we're going to have to start there before we set the table for what we're about to receive today. Wolf is modeling, and I stress modeling, the Steelers' new era Panama bucket camo hat. All you got to do to take advantage of that pro shop item of the day deal is scan the QR code, which you're going to see on your screen momentarily. There it is. Wolf, you've always struck me as a bucket hat kind of guy. That one is particularly complimentary to your ensemble.
Well, I think unquestionably a bucket head needs a bucket hat. So, therefore, the meeting of the two is quite proficient and good for me.
Yeah, you'll be going down to the field a little bit later when we get done here, so you can take that with you.
That I will do, my friend.
You'll be the envy of the sideline. As for where we left off yesterday, just a little bit of housekeeping for you to start the show today. Running down who was not available: Pat Freiermuth, Jeremy McNichols, Najee Harris, Chase Claypool, Eli Wallace, Marcus Allen, Deontay Johnson still doing the hold-in thing, and, of course, Minkah Fitzpatrick still on non-football injury, and Tyson Alualu physically unable to perform. But we've heard from Mike Tomlin and most recently from General Manager Omar Khan yesterday. None of the injuries or any of the circumstances keeping anybody out of the lineup is supposed to linger or any kind of extended concern.
Yes, they're progressing. This is all part of the process. Part of the process of training camp is also it's built upon the OTAs and the mini camp, and it's about stressing the tissues, the fibers, all that stuff too. It's got to be conditioned. And highly ballistic, collision-type fibrous action going on out there, that's necessary also to condition the body.
Steelers not wearing pads today, just the helmets, Wolf. I know you thought, hey, it's time they took those pads off after 2 days.
Oh, yeah, I was really hoping that they were going to play two-hand touch today. But unfortunately, you know, they're going to go ahead and take the pads off, and I just thought we were just building momentum. It would have been nicer to just see them, you know, be able to realize what they, you know, have been building on the last couple of days. It's been fun. You know, a little bit of feistiness and everything else. It's all good stuff.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin yesterday crediting the urgency and the competitiveness with which his team went about its business yesterday. Tomlin seeing some growth along the offensive line, said there's certainly room for more and expects there to be more, but he's seeing some growth there. Rookie running back Jaylen Warren, undrafted out of Oklahoma State, has gotten some attention the last couple of days, first in Backs on Backers a couple of days ago, and then yesterday with McNichols and Harris out of the lineup and extra reps to be had at running back. Jaylen impressed Mike Tomlin with his conditioning. So good start for him. As for today, we're going to see the pass coverage edition of tight ends and backs on backers. The pass protection part of it allows the linebackers to just smash into those guys. Now they have to cover those guys. So this one a little more tilted toward the offense because there's no pass rush, and the quarterback can wait as long as he wants till the guy gets open and then throw the ball. So there'll be some running around down there in that drill. We'll see a team run, even though they're not wearing the pads. And Wolf, a little treat, at least as far as I'm concerned, a 2-minute drill scheduled to wrap things up today.
Well, that'll be exciting because you want to start seeing these quarterbacks operate under our clock, under pressure, and see how they're able to handle it. You know, that's one of the things that has got to be built in early, seeing these guys be able to start to create some space for themselves and showing them how they muster and get the offense going. You know, I love one of the things that Mason talked about earlier when he said, you know, even though he's running with the threes, and I'm paraphrasing here, but one of the things about it is, okay, what are you going to do? Are you going to settle for, you know, playing at a level with the threes, or are you going to try to raise the three levels up? And he's about raising up his teammates and leading from the front. I like that. I like what I'm hearing from him. The competition has been good thus far. So we'll see. But a 2-minute drill, that's going to be good stuff to watch.
I want to just double back for a second also to where we ended yesterday with Jaylen Warren and that team run period.
Oh, yeah.
It was better.
It was, yes. There's no question about it. Look, this is a process. one of the things I strive often to talk to the folks about is that you got to understand the defense is not just mindlessly sitting there going, "Oh, I think I've seen this play before." They know the play. They've seen the play. They've gone monster mash on the play before. And the fact is, you've got to get better offensively and tighten up all the nuts and bolts because they've seen this before. This is not, as you've put it one time so well, it wasn't their first rodeo, okay? So the fact is you got to give these guys some time to gel. The defense tends to be running ahead. And with the running game, it's also about the five working as one and understanding in these inside-outside zone schemes who's the most dangerous, and that takes some time to be able to ascertain when you're under the gun and under pressure.
I did tell that well back in the day.
You did. I still bring it up. It was so good, I was jealous.
Yeah, I think we should go there since we got some time here. It was during the Super Bowl week in Dallas, and the rodeo was going on, the Texas State Fair, or whatever they called it. And you and Tunch, we were getting ready to do a show such as this or something, and we were in close proximity, and you guys mentioned that you had gone to the rodeo. And I said, I went 2 days ago, and then I went back again last night. And then I asked you guys, do you know what I said to them when I went there the second time? And you said, no, what? And I said, this is not my first rodeo.
But the timing was explicit. It was absolutely magnificent. And as I said, it was so good, I was jealous of that line.
Not my first training camp either, nor yours, nor a lot of the people that are here. I'm guessing another day, another good crowd here at St. Vincent College. The Steelers' return after the 2-year COVID-19-induced hiatus has been an ongoing story, and the reaction to the fans' response to the Steelers' return, an ongoing story. Here's what General Manager Omar Khan had to say about that this week.
I wanted to start off by first saying how excited we are to all be back here in Latrobe and at St. Vincent. It's been an awesome week so far. The people have been great, not only here at on campus but in the community. It's been great to be back. With respect to the fans, what can I say? The support that we've gotten here so far from the fans coming in, it's been just tremendous. I've met people from all over the country, actually all over the world. I met someone from Mexico yesterday that had traveled, and it's been amazing, and that really does mean a lot for all of us, including the team.
Yeah, it's been pretty special stuff, Wolf, and looks like the heat is no deterrent today. You can see the grandstand almost filled at Chuck Noll Stadium and Chuck Noll Field, and the hillside filling up, and everywhere I'm going, I'm running into people who are familiar with the work, but not necessarily from here.
No question about it. This is a generational thing, Mike. I've met people here who come up and they say, "This is my son. This is his son. This is my cousin, and twice removed." It's just a thing where they bring family member after family member over the years. And I've met people that say, "Well, I've been coming here for the last 3 decades." I go, "Whoa!" But that's what it is, and that's to be a Steeler fan, part of Steelers Nation. You have this ability to get up and close, watch the players, watch the newbies come out here and develop, and see the beginning of a team being made to order, so to speak, as the Steelers prepare to go on this journey of 2022.
Of course, another ongoing story here at St. Vincent has been the play of number 90, T.J. Watt. We have talked on these programs about how the offense is looking relatively sluggish and not yet in sync and up to speed, and the struggles with the pass protection and the quarterback play. But that guy on the left has a lot to do with it. He's been blowing stuff up, and he has been celebrating it as well. He's throwing his personality around as well as his weight out there on the field. T.J. Watt talking this morning, Wolf, and saying that it's all a part of his leadership agenda.
Yeah, I think part of it is just in my role now and being more of a leader, just trying to set the tone and understand that it's very hard to make plays. And at the end of the day, we have to remember that we're having fun. And I know a lot of guys, younger guys, have so much going on mentally. If they're in the right spot, if they're doing the right thing, that you can't forget at the end of the day, it's very tough to make a play. So when you make one, you got to celebrate. And we just try to feed off the crowd. And as a defense, we always enjoy that.
Coach talked a lot about maturation.
Did you miss being able to do that last year? I know you were obviously working through the contract stuff, and that's the priority. But did you miss being able to celebrate, do those things on the field when you make a big play in camp?
A little bit. It helps with leadership, just as far as you can only do so much from the sidelines, and as hard as I was working last year, you're not able to actually show it on the field. So it's definitely refreshing to be able to be out there.
Wolf, 22 and a half sacks last year, Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
I think he's trying to find another level.
You know, I there's just sometimes you run out of words to describe the superlatives of what you observe watching this guy. You know, I go back again to last year, and I will tell you unequivocally, this guy is the all-time single-season sack leader. I don't care what you say about Mike Strahan. Watching him go after and sack Tyler Huntley when Huntley was playing bowling for dollars with the snap, right? Trying to rise up. You got 3 wide receivers on a 2nd and 8. Everybody ran verticals, and you got T.J. Kimum and T.J. hunted them down. All right, that was far beyond what Mike Strahan had when Brett Favre slid into home plate at the feet of Strahan, right? So we see this guy right now. He's already had a pick 6. He already punted the ball to the fans in the stands. I mean, you got to love that. You know, he's not going to be much of a punter, but, you know, the fact that he could knock a ball down and make a big play, then turn around and punt the ball and give the fans a little bit of thrill, it's all fun. But you know what? His leadership is what he talks about. It's about being on the field with the guys. Last year, everybody understood what was happening as they watched him sweating it out on the sidelines. And he was sweating it out. He wasn't just sitting around. The dude was working and working very hard. And so now he's able to engage, be with his teammates, lead the process from the front, not root them on from the rear. And that, I think, is huge on his part. And it's also big for a guy like Alex Highsmith. Because when you're got the Defensive Player of the Year sitting over there and you watch him work day in and day out, you get to work with him, you get to pick his brain and do all that sort of thing in real time while you're out on the field. Those are big moments. And the leadership that comes from one spills over to the other. And you're going to see a guy like T.J. Watt kind of keep filling up that leadership bubble, but you're going to see guys like Alex Highsmith also react to that because he can't help it. You're being dragged along in the wake of a guy who is really a superb performer.
Yeah, this stuff we're seeing now is the stuff that T.J. Watt was doing in training camp last year. That was his holding year.
Right.
But now, as you just heard him describe, he's happy to be on the field because it's easier to lead from in front than behind. And he's out there making the plays and the emotion that's spilling over. You mentioned the punting of the football. He executed a pass defense against Mitch Trubisky, knocked the ball down, turned around, and as it was bouncing off the ground, he kicked it. And it was a pretty good punt.
Well, you know what? He's got a career as a rugger, you know, one of those rugby guys.
And then he had a pick 6 against Trubisky, and after he jogged into the end zone, he threw the ball straight up in the air. It might be in orbit. I don't know if it's come down yet. and yesterday, another example, there was a little toss sweep to the speedy wide receiver, Calvin Austin III, and T.J. Watt was waiting for him and knocked him down, and then he kind of stood over him and gave him the business a little bit. And Austin got up scrappy, like what was he going to do? You know.
You get up there and you scrap a little bit, hoping upon hope that somebody's going to break it up.
Yeah. But TJ talked about that. He said sometimes you just black out and you react out there.
That's true.
You know, I wanted to get him involved and have a little fun. And I said, do you think Austin had fun? And he said, probably not. But
no, but we had fun at Austin's expense at that time. If you're a defensive guy.
And so then it's up to him to go make a play, and then he could do whatever.
Then he can joyously celebrate a great touchdown. Didn't he have a big catch and run yesterday off of Mason? Didn't Mason hit him with a long pass?
He did.
That's right, like a 65-yarder. So there you go. He had his fun. He got to go up the sidelines. He got to get in the end zone. He got to wave the ball and everything else. So it's all fun and games right now.
Yeah, the emotion from Watt, you see it in the games. We're starting to see it more on the practice field, I think. And as he described it this morning, he's had a grand plan to be a leader since he got here. But before you can become a leader, and Wolf, you'll be able to address this better than I, but first you got to establish your spot on the team. Then you got to establish yourself as a really good player, and then you got to be comfortable with everything going on your team, and then you can be a leader. And TJ feels like he's at that point now.
Exactly so. You want to establish yourself and have the street credentials to be able to lead the men, and you got to be able to do it because here's the thing about it. You can't anoint a leader. That doesn't work. You've got to earn it. You earn it first by your walk, all right? So if you got a little talk and you back it up with your walk, that's just as good. But the guys that just do it, Mike Webster, I was just talking a while back about Mike Webster. Mike Webster led from the front with fewer words than anybody I think I've ever ever met in my life. But he was just that good. He was that great. And you know what? He just didn't have to verbalize it. Other people, they have a little more verbal. But at the same time, you know, the fact is you got to lead by your play. And right now you're looking at two highly skilled guys. And if you look at the drill they're doing right here, this is one of the reasons for their success. It's the hand play. It's the ability to trap the arms and move the arms. And they're practicing that sight and sound. It's almost like a Filipino Kali drill, which is a martial art. It's called hubad lubad, to tie and untie. It's trapping and using hands. A lot of guys do it. You know, and Aaron Donald's a guy that I know uses a lot during the offseason. And they work on their hands just like this. I'm telling you, it's like Mr. Miyagi down there on the field. You know, the Karate Kid. You got it. All right. So just so you understood that.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah. T.J. Watt played in 15 games last year, but he was limited in several others, Wolf. And on the way to those 22.5 sacks, the numbers really striking. We saw his individual statistics on the screen a minute ago, but to ponder these numbers for a minute, when T.J. Watt played 79% or more of the snaps,
right,
defensive snaps, the Steelers were 9-2. When he played 55% or fewer, they were 0-3-1, and when he didn't play, they were 0-2. That's how you got to 9-7-1. Well, one way how you got to 9-7-1.
You know, isn't that interesting? It tells you there is a direct correlation between number 90 and why he was the Defensive Player of the Year and what he's capable of doing, and the fact that he can swing a game all by himself, as we've seen over the years, whether it's, you know, what is it, Seattle when he had the overtime or whatever, the fumble recovery, I can't remember. Strip, yeah. I mean, just stuff like that. That's legendary stuff. That's like Joe Green. You know what I mean? Those are the people that you look at.
He's a popular guy with the fans, too.
Yeah. And, you know, you see he's having a joyous time out here. He's with his teammates. He's leading from the front, like we all like to say. Look at Cam Hayward right there with him. And the fact is these two guys are what make that defense go. You got to have those guys on the field.
So you're T.J. Watt. You did all that stuff last year. You tied the sacks record. You won Defensive Player of the Year. You were an integral part of your team's success. The natural follow-up question this morning, what are you going to do for an encore?
We got to win a Super Bowl. Simple as that.
How about the dynamic of this camp is interesting because everyone judges everything. And the offense going to defense, there's going to be winners and losers.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody says the defense is ahead of the offense early. If that's true, why is that true?
I don't know. It's like I said, it's way too early for any of that stuff. It's all based on who the drill is slanted towards, if it's offense or defense. Right now, just trying to get better each and every day. Put your best foot forward. Watch the film. Learn how to watch film. Learn how to accept constructive criticism, not take things too personally, and just build camaraderie as a team. I think that's what this time of year is all about.
Do you think it's beneficial that your young offensive line gets to see you guys on a regular basis? Does it help them?
Oh, of course. I mean, I don't get to see the young offensive line too much, but anytime they get to see our advanced 3-4 defense is hard for those guys to block, especially the amount of pressures and different guys coming and other guys dropping in coverage is difficult for them, so it's good to see early.
Learn how to watch film and accept constructive criticism.
Huge. That's huge, Mike. You know, just listening to that, that's a pearl of wisdom coming from the Defensive Player of the Year and from a veteran guy. Because one of the things I was told early on.
It's kind of weird thinking of him as a veteran now, isn't it? It feels like he just got here in a way, but
it does.
He absolutely is.
He is. He is now a I hate to say grizzled veteran, but he's now a veteran. But, you know, one of the things that I was told early on was Mike Webster. Mike Webster said to me, he said, Craig, one of the things you got to learn right away, you know, the criticisms can be a little harsh. Hey, listen, all you got to do is take the positive, you know, accept it, work through it, and understand that the negative, take what you can out of the criticism and make it yours and own it and get better at it, but then let it all wash off you like water off a duck's butt. You know, I mean, you can't let it get personal, and it starts to disrupt your motivation and the things that you're doing on the field.
So they got T.J. Watt going for him, which is nice.
That's pretty good. Yes.
What about the other side? Alex Highsmith. Watt has described Highsmith as a player going into his third year now, number 56 there in front of Watt and Cam Hayward. T.J. Watt thinks that Highsmith plays better than the stats would indicate. He says if you watch his tape and study his tape, it's better than what the statistics reveal. And T.J. Watt thinks that Alex Highsmith is a consistent ability to finish away from taking another huge step as a player.
You're exactly correct. He just needs to string this together. He made some great strides last year, and I love the fact that TJ looks at him and says, you know what, this guy's got more in the tank. Well, yeah, he played better than his stats. Why? Well, maybe because you had the Defensive Player of the Year on the other side who beat you to the sack a number of times. You were there. You're getting close. You're almost there for the sack. And then, bam-o, here he comes, number 90, getting the sack because he's just a couple steps better than you at this point in time. But you look at Alex Highsmith and now his ability to marshal the great strength. Look at the hindquarters on the dude, okay? The guy has obviously been squatting with a barbell with manhole covers on it, okay? He's been eating rare meat, and doing the heavy lifting stuff. Now you get this body that's stronger, that's faster. Now you got to start applying that strength to your technique and go out there and perform. And I really look at Alex Highsmith to be one of these guys that is going to, well, I think he's going to hit double-digit sacks. I think he's going to do more than that. But the two of them together, when you watch the tape and you see TJ getting around the corner to the edge, Alex is normally very close. But you know what? TJ is just a couple steps ahead.
Is there a third amigo at outside linebacker, that guy that we talk about that can come in and be the complementary guy and give Alex Highsmith a blow, give TJ Watt a blow? Are you seeing anything yet out of a Jannard Avery, who's kind of he's a proven NFL guy.
He's a proven NFL guy,
and
yes.
Delonte Scott, big play for him yesterday as well. He kind of tried to one-up T.J. Watt, blowing up the little wide receiver thing around the end and blowing up a block on the way to blowing up the receiver. What are you seeing from those two guys here in the early going?
Well, Jannard Avery is a guy that, number one, he's a proven commodity. He's somebody you got veteran skills right there. That's somebody that's, I'm sure that they talked to and they got it all worked out as, look, this is what the reps are going to be and everything else. And he's here. He's part of a defense that, as you look at him right now, the guy is built a little bit like James Harrison. He's a little bit shorter, and he's got that muscular structure and everything else, the lower leverage. But he can use all of that in his pass rushing, in his setting the edge. He's a powerful guy. He's capable. I think he's going to be probably the guy backing up there, unless, of course, Delonte Scott has something to say about it. And he showed and has flashed some good stuff, both in his pass rushing and his setting the edge and ability. So I think right now we've taken some steps forward, but we got to see how this all works out as we move forward, because there's nothing like game time to reveal what you're really doing.
Yeah, we saw a little bit out of Derek Tuska last year as well. He's played a little bit with the Broncos. 2 sacks last year in 15 games. Mostly he's a special teamer for the Steelers. But these backup positions, critical.
They are critical, especially when you get knock on wood. Okay, I'll use my head since it's right there. I'll knock on wood. You don't want your stars to get hurt, obviously, but if they do, you better have somebody that you can count on to come in and give some veteran reps. And I think Jannard Avery is a guy that's capable of doing better than just your standard average backup reps. He's proven he's capable of putting in some good work. And I think Derek Tuska is another guy that is, again, he's where he's at. All right, he's not going to be a 22-sack guy, a la T.J. Watt, but he's going to be a guy that's going to come in and do a good job on the special teams, and he's going to give you some break on the outside there as a pass rusher and an edge setter.
Defensive line depth got stretched thin last year once Tyson Alualu went out in week 2, and because of Stephon Tuitt's season-long unavailability, but starting to look like some holes have been plugged, Wolf. Montravius Adams arrived midseason last year. Appears much better for the experience of actually starting with the team during OTAs this year. And a lot of people have been talking about Isaiah Loudermilk, the second-year draftee out of Wisconsin, as being significantly changed from a year ago.
He's another guy that got on the heavy stake and squatting with a barbell thing. He's put some size on. I like the musculature that I see. I love a sub-package 6'7" guy because he can get his hands up and throw in lanes that are really, critical to the defense on the underneath routes and the mesh point that you can throw over the middle. But Isaiah Loudermilk's the guy that we thought, okay, he's got a year off. He's going to have a year. He's going to lift weights. And you know what? He became one of those guys that you had to depend on for reps from about mid-season on. This guy was taking a lot of serious reps, and he was holding his own. And I was enjoying it because the kid showed he's got ability to come on and deliver some positive reps when the defensive guys needed it. And it's only going to get better. I've been watching him now. His hand placement for such a young guy, when he comes off and he catches the car rolling down the field, which is how I refer to an offensive lineman coming at you. All right, you got as a defensive lineman, you got to go from your hand in the ground to your hands to the shoulder pads, like right away, and stop that momentum of the offensive lineman. And it's a very difficult thing to do because if you're late off the ball, don't get off on the snap, and your arms are bent at 90 degrees or more back towards you can't bench press a guy like Kendrick Green off you or a guy like Kevin Dotson off you. You got to be able to have an extension there so that you can get to his shoulders before he can get to your shoulders. This young man here that we're watching, stretching out now, Isaiah Loudermilk, is a guy that I think has got some real positive reps to perform this year. I think there's a lot of good stuff that he's going to be capable of doing, and I look forward to what his contributions will be. The other guy, though, that I'm anxious to see, and I've been hearing a lot of things about, a heavy-handed dude, is Larry Ogunjobi, and I'm looking forward to seeing what that cat can do.
That is, as Mike Tomlin described Arthur Millette last year, that is an NFL dude.
That is an NFL dude.
Yeah, Larry Ogunjobi, people should know him from his days with the Browns and then his year with the Bengals last year. He knows what he's doing. He's going to provide push as a sub-package pass rusher and maybe a little bit more as a situational or rotational player up front. It's looking more promising there.
And let me just say this dude's got arms like legs and legs like people. Okay, so when you hear that he's heavy-handed, you know what he's doing. He's getting that lockout, and it's a thumping. So to see him perform, I'm very anxious to him get on the field because we've seen, as Max Stark said the other day, he goes, well, we've seen what he's done against us. Let's see what he can do when he's with us. Because this is a capable and, as you stated, an NFL player.
You get just a little glimpse of number 41 there in the corner a moment ago, Robert Spillane. And that's another one of our ongoing themes here through the first week plus at St. Vincent College, the rotation at inside linebacker. I don't know about you, Wolf. I was expecting the starters to be Devin Bush and Miles Jack. I still am. But we talked to a couple of us talked to the defensive coordinator, Terrell Austin, this morning. And he said Robert Spillane, number 41, is forcing his way into the conversation.
That's what I love to hear. This is what you want to hear. It's not about Devin Bush dropping down to below whatever status level below Robert, but Robert forcing his way into the competition. That's exactly the way you want competition to unfold in your position room. Robert Spillane's been a heavy hitter ever since he got here. Now he's not been schooled in great in pass coverage and things of that nature, but he's gotten better at it each and every year, even to the point where Mike talked about some of his underneath coverage last year was excellent. The thing about it is we know him from the legendary hit that he dropped on Derrick Henry, because that is one that will always be heard, is that thumping that he put on Derrick Henry in the Valhalla Hall of great heavy hitters. But the thing about it is he's added to his game, and we saw him on backers. It blew right through some of the guys that were trying to block him. We've seen his ability to blitz. We've seen his ability to tackle. We know that he's capable of moving underneath in coverage, and when he has leverage on a guy, meaning if he's got the guy and he's got inside leverage on it, he's very good at playing that leverage game all the way to the sideline. So things that, when he's doing things like that, he's going to force his way into the conversation by sheer play. And I love the fact that he's going to make it difficult for them to decide who's up.
So we're seeing the defense do all these things and make all these plays out here and come together. And they've been without cornerback Levi Wallace on occasion. He's a guy who was a high-profile signing in the free agency period. They've been without free safety Minkah Fitzpatrick and Tyson Alualu, the nose tackle, the entire time. But the defense still really coming together. The offense, conversely, Wolf, let's let a number do the talking, because we spent a lot of time emphasizing the 7 shots drill. Over the last 4 days, 16 first-team reps for the offense, 1 touchdown/conversion.
Well, I think that's what you call a drought. We're at the drought situation here. That's not a good thing, obviously. They're not communicating, and they're not being able to get the job done when they're deep down in there. Mitchell Trubisky, look, he's going to get with it. It's going to happen. But it takes a little while to get rolling with this stuff, and you've got to find it's like the one throw he had. It was a quick turnaround. Connor Hayward the other day dropped one. Yep. And Connor's been doing a good job catching the ball. But he inexplicably just dropped one on a quick turnaround when he crossed the goal line.
And Cody White didn't get his feet down on another one.
There you go. So, it's not
bad
like –
day for my Spartans in that 7 shots drill yesterday.
I know that you got to be like just kind of reminiscing here a little bit as you talk about your Michigan State Spartans.
They never used to do that, Wolf.
No, they never.
Never once.
But now, wow, what? How now? All right. Well, this guy here, Mitchell Trubisky, the one thing that I do love about him is his athleticism and his ability to be able to throw on the move, because he certainly can do that well. Now, he's got the arm, he's got the athleticism and all that sort of stuff. Let's see how this thing plays out. It's like I said from the very beginning. I hope they don't anoint. I hope that they allow a true competition to go and see where everybody's at.
Another factor in all this might be, just, check me if I'm wrong here, but you haven't had Chase Claypool lately. You haven't had Pat Freiermuth lately. You haven't had Najee Harris lately. You haven't had Deontay Johnson in 11-on-11 all camp. I don't know. Maybe those four guys probably going to be fairly significant contributors once they start playing for keeps.
Exactly. I mean, sounds like if you had Deontay Johnson on the the 7 shots and Chase Claypool, it might things might have changed a little bit there, don't you think? If you had them. I'm just saying.
The first 7 shots at training camp last Thursday when it rained, the first day they did it, they didn't do it on Wednesday. The first play was Trubisky to Claypool, touchdown.
When you get those big dudes in there that are able to do the big dude things, it makes life a lot easier if you're the quarterback. And certainly, Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool are a couple of guys that you certainly want out there if you're doing 7 shots or if you're in the low red zone in a game.
And with a guy such as Trubisky and, the other two certainly, Mason Rudolph and Kenny Pickett are mobile quarterbacks as well. What's the protocol in practice? Should they be bailing and running when forced to, or should they be hanging in there and absorbing that would have been a sack and trying to throw the ball down the field so they can get some reads on the DBs and the receivers and what's happening on the receiving end?
Well, you want a balance of it, because here's the one thing about it. You teach and talk to your quarterbacks all the time. There's a clock. All right, that clock has got to be in your head, and it's got to be instinctive, and it's got to be loud enough that you pay attention to it. So when a Kenny Pickett tucks the ball and runs, I'm not adverse to that, because in my mind, he's just reacting to, as a young man should, that clock is worn out in my head, and I got to go. I got to get out of here. Now, for Mitchell and for Mason, it's a different thing, because they can hang in there. They know what the clock is. They've been on the clock for a long time already. They can hang in there a little bit and throw downfield as long as the defensive guys don't do anything by, pull a Josh Allen and go and bang them like they did in Buffalo.
Yeah, I think they're aware of the clock. I don't know that they're necessarily adhering to it yet.
The clock's a little bit getting stretched here and there.
The clock's a little slow.
Yeah.
I caught Mike Tomlin at one juncture yesterday encouraging Kenny Pickett after play to get the ball out.
Right.
He's moving his head. Come on, let's go. Move it along.
Right.
Might be a little bit of paralysis by analysis going on.
Well, there's no question about it. He's going through that. It's just simply one of those things that until the things start flying around live, you really don't know how you're going to react. You understand what you've done in the past, but you've got different impulses. You've got different things that you got to see with your eyes before you deliver that ball. And right now, I don't have a problem with Kenny hanging onto it and tucking it and running it, because these are the things that a young guy does. Mike Tomlin's correct. Hey, let's get the ball out. I got it. But also with Mason, with Mitchell, to get that ball out of the hand and get it down the field is important, because they understand the significance of the clock ticking in your head and how long you can hold on to that ball. But at the same time, you want to wing it downfield and see if you can get something done for your wideouts and your secondary.
Still another factor in this offense versus defense dynamic, Wolf, could be, again, check me if I'm wrong, we started the show talking about how number 90's blowing everything up.
Right.
They're having a hard time with him.
Yes.
I don't know that changes. I did ask T.J. Watt this morning if he was going to sit a couple of days out just so they could get a true read on the offense, and he just kind of laughed it off. And I asked Terrell Austin the same thing, and Terrell Austin said, the offense is not my concern. I'm paraphrasing, but
right.
He said T.J. Watt and Cam Hayward will get some days off here and there to preserve them, not to benefit the offense. So right now at least – and Terrell Austin acknowledged the Steelers as a group are going to need the offense eventually.
Oh, yes.
But right now it is not his worry.
He says that correctly. All right, if I'm the defensive coordinator and you tell me, can you back off a little bit? No. No, you can't back off. You know what? You want your boys to feel success. You want them to come together and feel that strength is 11 as one.
Back off. You might even put the pedal down a little bit in that situation, might you not?
Well, there's a thing called smelling blood. There's blood in the water. You know what? You get after it even more. If you wanted to see anybody that was smelling a little bit of blood yesterday, it was Cameron Hayward, who maybe I got a feeling that Mike Tomlin wanted to say, let's kind of up the intensity a little bit. I think he took it real personal. Yeah, I'm just saying again.
Do you think he had to ask him twice?
Not twice, just once.
Hey, Cam. Yeah, I know.
I got it.
We're spinning snow.
Here we go. Just start it.
By the way, did you get a look at DeMarvin Leal against John LeGlue?
I did. That was a very good
Battle of the Titans over on the far
field.
Battle
of the Titans, indeed. You know what? Here's the thing about it.
Big guys swinging slowly and roundhouse-like.
Yeah. Here's the thing they got to understand. You got to grab the face mask. You got to push, pull, uppercut over and over. It's like hockey fighting. You grab, push, pull, uppercut, push, pull. It's got it over and over in your head. Now, the thing that
they don't go for the jersey like in hockey. They don't try to get it over the guy's head and then just let him have it.
Yeah, no. It would be too hard because most of the guys are too wide-bodied, to pull the jersey.
Can't get it over the shoulder
pads.
pads.
You can't get it, no. But you know what? To watch these guys as they go at it, one thing I love about John LeGlue, this guy's a competitor. Came, the fourth left guard that the Steelers had last year, and he came out, and you can see right there, this is a big man. He's 6'7". He's about 310, 315. Very strong dude. And the thing about it is he comes out with no game experience and literally does a very, very good job in acquitting himself last year when the Steelers needed him to play. Now he's playing a little bit of center as well. It's good because that's only going to add to the benefits that you can offer the ball club. But I like what I see out of LeGlue. DeMarvin Leal's another guy. I'm telling you what, that dude has got a set of ham hocks on him. I mean, if he can't stuff a run here and there, I don't know. Because it just looks like he is perfect for run stuffing.
Yeah, it's amazing. The more I do draft prep every year, it's amazing to me what these guys look like. How the big guy, there's no fat on them. They're just sculpted. And,
they're just huge, man.
Leal's a really good example of that. Real quick before we get out of here, what are you looking forward to seeing today?
Well, one of the things I wanted to look at today was get after the secondary and start to look at some of the cornerback play and see where we're going with that. I've been enamored with the big shaggies. It just kind of grabs my attention. So I got to spend a little time looking at the other positions and see what we got there.
I'm looking forward to that 2-minute drill. I like the
2-minute drill is going to be highlighted.
I like the defined drills where there's a winner and a loser. It's easier for me to understand that.
Well, you know what?
Did they score? No.
No.
Win for the defense. Did they score? Yes. Win for the offense.
Well, here's what I'm looking for. The offense to come back because last night in the dining hall, the defense got lobster tail that had an Oscar, a la Oscar. Got the lump crab meat in it, and it was only for the defense.
Really?
Yes. So the offensive guys got to come back and do it because if you got 2 days in a row, boy, the hooting and hollering the defense will have, and the succulent, great food they'll be able to eat over what the offense is having. I don't know.
Is that a thing?
I've
never heard of that.
It was the first day.
No soup for you?
No soup for you. Maybe you can't even get a beef jerky for crying out loud.
Wolf, great stuff. We'll look forward to doing it again soon. Don't forget, we've got the wrap-up show presented by UPMC Health Plan slated for just after the conclusion of practice today. Don't forget your bucket hat, and don't forget to find us after today's session practice number 7 here at St. Vincent College. Until then, for Craig Wolfely, I'm Mike Prisuta. Thanks for joining us for Training Camp Live on Steelers.com.